terms of the private equity scene, can you just articulate the general aims and objectives of the players?
I mean, private equity is just another form of business ownership, and private equity investors, very simple in their objectives. They want to put some money in, they want to see it well deployed in a business, and they want to see a return for that money over a 3 to 5 year period. They're happy usually to put more money in to build a business, to acquire other businesses to bolt onto it. But it's just another ownership structure for a business, very different from a public quoted environment where boards and management teams are spending a lot of time talking to their institutional investors. In private equity world, it's much simpler. You've generally got one investor who you're focusing through, and the beauty of private equity is you get a time for the business to be away from the glare of publicly quoted numbers, and for the management to focus pretty much all of its time on running the business.
What kinds of private equity players are there? For instance, I'm specifically thinking of the non-operational partners as well as operational partners.
Yeah, there's quite a broad spectrum. Private equity is a very broad heading, in fact, and you've got people who invest in early stage startups, and they tend to be called venture capitalists, but they're all different forms of private equity. What we call mid-market private equity is where investors will invest in businesses that are not distressed. They'll tend to do a lot of due diligence, have a lot of time to weigh up a business, look at it strategically, its market position, due diligence, its management and their plan, and they are much more financially oriented investors. At our end of the spectrum, where we're working on turnarounds, we have to assume that the business is not just in financial distress, it's in operational trouble as well, and that means that we have to be prepared to get very operationally involved. So there's quite a different focus from the businesses, whereas we're much more operational and hands-on. Some private equity houses are much more handling it like managing it like a part of a portfolio.